Look over here.
And I wanted to clack it again because I can. Because I'm the host here and I can do things sometimes. Anyway, kia ora, queens, and welcome to The Cup, the Currently Unnamed Podcast, where we put the real and the tea in reality, and you can always come to us first to quench your thirst. And welcome to...
Look over here.
Our exclusive companion series where we're diving into the looks from episode 5 of season 4 of Drag Race Down Under. I'm Logan Murphy, say something gay, and I am just drinking some water. That's all. But if I was drinking other things, it could be in a mug, specifically a cup mug. And you could get yours at lonagcreations.c.com. Link is in the description below. We do ship domestically within the United States and internationally, so there are no excuses, unless you're in Canada or you have other excuses. Canadians were working on it. Yeah, that's all.
Well, I'm David Healy, and I don't have a cute intro, but I do have a cute shirt. I am still wearing my Ivory Glaze shirt. One of my favorites from last season of Drag Race Down Under. Her time was cut way too short. But I am just drinking some water right now.
What's up, y'all? My name is Sugar Free. I'm the diabetic fairy of LA. I said that I would come on in full drag every time because, unlike a lot of people, I have not been on a drag competition show, so I feel the need to show up and show out every time. However, I decided to show up today. Show out, we got some red blush, matching the red hair, matching the red eye, and that's about as much as I felt like doing today. I am drinking water as a classy girl.
You're a show up queen. Show you what I mean.
And what I mean is not much.
Great. We're going to talk about some great makeovers from this episode of Drag Race Down Under. If you've not caught our recap with the amazing Amal, please make sure to go check that out. We had so much fun talking to Amal. But we're going to dive into these looks. Before we do, make sure to subscribe if you've not already, because we're here almost all the time giving you almost all things drag. And make sure to check out the description below where you can find all of our audio podcast links, our other YouTube channels, and our Patreon for exclusive content and early access, including early access to most of the Look Over Here episodes for the franchises that we are currently covering. So with that being said, I'm going to slide it to the side, throw this on screen. Category is Drag Family Storytime. Librarian Makeover Extravaganza, Eleganza, Yes God, Muma. And first up, Vybe and Buzzkill. Let's start with you, Sugar.
Okay, great, cool. Sorry, I didn't get the stage directions before.
Same as last time. There's your stage direction.
So Vybe and Buzzkill, overall, very successful makeover, I've got to say. Does a lot of the things that you need to do in a makeover challenge, which is put somebody in an aesthetically pleasing look while also having a captivating character. I liked and disliked this sort of like you have to have a story with your runway. I felt it was a little pretentious. Almost, I guess is a word I would say. So like, okay, librarians, and okay, we can't just present nice things. Okay. But overall, I really liked that they didn't try too hard to like overcomplicate their story. Love the overall matching aesthetics. I didn't need the ascots, like the satin ascots they had, mainly because I'm a drag queen, so I'm allowed to clock a breastplate, but I actually don't see a breastplate here. So I'm not sure what the ascot is covering. And if it doesn't need to cover anything, and there's so much already covered up, I would have loved to have seen a clean bare neck there. Also, this is my, like, I am such a nitpicky girl right now, but I feel like you're going to do a cut crease. You need the cut crease to go just the tiniest bit over where their eye naturally opens. In Buzzkills, it fit the character, but like anytime they had their eyes wide open, their lash just like completely sucked up their eye makeup. It just looks a little frumpy to me. I'm just saying it as someone who's looked like that many, many times and has had to learn where to put the thing. But also, this is a face you've never painted before, and Vybe always looks flawless. This is very, very good. I'm fine. I'm more than satisfied.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is proof that sometimes just matching works on Drag Race. They're very, very similar. I mentioned it on the main podcast. Like the only real difference is that they're kind of mirror images of each other. Um, but I still really like that. I like the wigs for these specific characters. And I think the best part was how they sold it on the runway, how they sold their story. I agree about the story aspect, but I do think it helped. And that's the thing is I don't mind if you use that to help, like to see why a words why a makeover is actually better. I just don't like it being held against them though.
Yes, exactly. It's like use that as a motivation forward, but I don't want to hold people back because they didn't write a 5-chapter essay on their drags characters. Yeah.
Yes, I agree. But Buzzkill definitely surprised me. Sold this so well in their face. Kept kept that going throughout the entire performance. So I was very impressed. Overall, the looks are good. There are more exciting looks, but there's definitely worse looks as well.
Yeah, I think for me, this was the overall best characterization and performance that we saw in the challenge. And I think that ultimately, paired with a very, very strong look, is why Vybe shared the win. Ultimately, here, also, she's been in the top every week. So, she did really, really well this week. Let's give her a win. I love that they're mirrored outfits. I don't love an exact copy. Unless it's Lavoie and her dad, then I did. But like I don't love an exact copy, and I like that they're mirrored. I'm gonna bring up what Amel talked about in the recap. I hate the length of these leggings. I wish they went all the way to the shoe instead of kind of like ending at a little bit of like a capri length, or just like hitting the ankle. All I want is it to hit the ankle.
How did I never realize that was a legging until just now in this moment? Like my brain just instinctively made it their legs, as it should be. I don't think there even needs to be a legging here, honestly.
No, I don't think there needs to be either. If it's a comfortability thing with him showing skin, then I understand that and I respect that.
It kind of goes with the 80s vibe of the looks too.
Yes, that's the right queen. So I'm
Oh,
glad
yeah.
we said vibe. Regardless, I think they did great. So scores.
I'm gonna be honest. The second you clocked those leggings, I lowered my
Oh,
score.
no.
But it is still an 85.
Okay, I gave it a 77.
85 as well, actually.
Yeah. I had it at 89, and then I saw that, and I got. Also, why are they lilac?
80s.
I don't know.
I don't know. Regardless. Next up, we have Mandy, Moobs, and Penny, Pecs. David, what'd you think?
Yeah, these are not the most exciting looks to say. It just feels like something I've seen a little bit before. They still look good. But what I do want to focus on is the face of Penny. I thought she did such a good job of painting Penny, and that's such a great beat. All of the contouring was just right. I do think the judges were right. If you were going to lean into the hanky code, uh, maybe do more than just having them draping on them. I think there's ways that you could have got very creative with this. But still, I'm not mad. I think they look good. Just on the lower end of the night for me.
Mandy is a queen after my own heart, and I do appreciate her. I mean, I have done all of my podcasts today in a tank top with popper bottles on them, so she is definitely my kind of girl. But I really wish the garments were anything more than they are. I do think the color scheme, in referencing the hanky coat, I like the colors that she went with the yellow and the red. I think those are some of the most recognizable ones, even for people that aren't super familiar with the hanky coat. So I think that is good. And I do love all of the different references she made with all the other hankies that she has going on. Like if that's everything she's into, I'm intrigued. That's all I will say on this podcast. I'm very intrigued by Miss Moobs. What I would have loved is I would have loved these gowns to be in lavender, because lavender is the hanky code color for drag queen.
Oh.
And I think that would have been so correct. Or at least, like, I don't mind Mandy doing yellow for herself, because we have, I believe, learned that is something she's into. Fully support that for her. But I would have loved if it had been yellow and lavender, because you're turning your makeover partner into a drag queen. Like, I think that would have been, and even, I'm going to go even as far as, like, have her walk on the right side, because lavender hanky on the right side is drag queen, and lavender on the left is into drag queens. Like, there's so many details that she could have gone with here that I wish she had. But these looks on their own are not bad at all.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things that if you're going to do hanky code, don't half-ass it. And unfortunately, it does come off across that. Michelle was right about the boa, especially. It was literally just a few hankies sewn together. It needed to be a textured, big mess if it was going to be that on both of them. What you said about the lavender makes so much sense, and I love that. Unfortunately, you didn't realize that Penny's real kink is fisting, and Mandy actually had 18 different dresses and wigs ready in every colored combo with black for whatever kink it came with.
I really hope she did, and honestly, knowing how fast she can make a garment, she probably did.
Absolutely. No, she just had black fabric and a bunch of different color piping and said, let's go. Who are you? What are you into?
Right, literally. No wonder she wanted Trevor in the first place.
She got the vibe.
That's another queen.
This is stop it. This is probably the best replication of signature eye makeup on their makeover partner, outside of maybe Brenda. We'll get to it later. But I think that, like, having a signature eye is a very key part of drag. And finding someone who you can put the dimensions of your face on is hard. Mandy killed it with who they chose for themselves, like 100%. So, not who they chose for themselves. They got lucky. Never mind. Yeah, vibe on that. Yeah, I'm fine with that. But the laziness of the handkerchiefs, it does bring this down for me a bit, because if you take out the handkerchiefs, it's just ketchup and mustard on a black dress.
Yeah.
And with the handkerchiefs, it's ketchup and mustard, piss and fisting scraps of fabric.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Scores. David.
72.
77.
72.
Per. Next up, we have Brenda and Splenda Bressed. I think that obviously the story of this is what sold the look. I don't mind that I understand what the judges are saying about it not being, the family resemblance, sure, but I love the complementary color palettes that Brenda did for this, with the black and the pink, and then the white with kind of the black and white plaid. I think they go together. It looks like they go together. Maybe I would have swapped the wigs, and then that would have given a little bit more of a, I wouldn't even have swapped like the scarves, just the wigs, I think might have done something for it. But regardless, I think the performance was really good. The looks are simple, but they worked for the characters that they were presenting. And this was some of my other favorite presentation on the runway.
I do feel like Brenda did, like I said, get the mug stamped. So kudos to them on that. If we were judging all of these looks individually, and I had to choose which two looks I liked the least, even without knowing they were together, it would be these two. And I think that's hard to argue with unless you want to try. I'm down to fight. Let's go. I don't like them that much. But because I just feel like, why isn't it the hot pink version of this pink? Why isn't it another bold color instead of the gray and white? It feels like Brenda really went into the matronly aspect of her character. Needless to say, the Never Ending Bus Stop did kill me. And then when Reese labeled it later, I felt so seen and heard. It's weird because I'm like, I enjoyed watching this.
Kill you in a good way or a bad way?
It killed me in a good way. I was like, great. No, this is awesome. Love that you also saw this and felt this. Because yeah, like we're waiting for the bus stop. Backs away. Like, what do you mean? Love it. But if we were judging just on the looks, I find them to be underwhelming.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, they're not the most exciting looks. I think they do match well. Like, this is where I don't mind them not being identical. I like having a variance, but there's still enough similarities that bring them together, and you know that they're supposed to be a pair. It's so clear. It's so clear. But I do think this is an example of somebody who should have been lifted up based on the story, because they had one of the most entertaining stories for me. I kind of got like two old babushkas just not knowing what to do, being like, where do we go? Which bus stop are we at? It just was so highly entertaining. And I really think that when a cisgender woman is getting in drag, sometimes it's there's like a line between like glamorous woman and drag queen still. And I think like Victoria Scone, she knows how to really lean into the drag queen aspect of it. And I think Brenda did a phenomenal job of making me forget anything about this queen's gender, and I saw pure drag queen, and I was very impressed by that.
That's
So
so true.
yeah, so overall, I do think that there were better ones. I wouldn't have had Brenda in the bottom two, though. I still like this enough.
For the looks, and my score is gonna be based on the looks specifically. I'm gonna give them a 70.
I also gave them a 70, but that is the looks were lower and the story elevated it to 70 for me.
Mm-hmm. I gave them a 75.
Next up, we have Max and Min, drag queen.
Let's talk about Max and Min. Okay, show of hands. Who thinks that if this story crap wasn't involved, this would still be in the bottom? No hands? No hands? Great. Glad we're all on the same page. This is perfect. It's perfectly lovely. Oh my gosh. The hair is phenomenal. The mug that Max did on Min. Again, like you said, being able to paint heavy on a natural woman and make it look like a drag queen is hard. I would say that I can still tell this is a biological woman. However, the mug is mugging. I would say I can still tell that Sigourney Beaver identifies as a biological woman, but like identifies. Christ, what's wrong with me? Cancel me, everyone. I shouldn't be saying any of these things, but I think that they look beautiful. I thought that the switching the bow thing was actually really cute. It's just this stupid story thing. Like, what are you? I'm like, I'm sorry. To me, they read it as like two girl group members having a slumber party. Like, the way they were just so cutesy and presentational. Min killed it with their confidence. And it's crap to me that this was bottom two. It really is.
Mm-hmm. I agree. This was top two for me when it comes just to looks. I thought these were adorable outfits. I really like the colors. I think these colors go perfectly together. I think Min's face is so stamped. And there's just this level of polish here that I really enjoyed. And yeah, of course, switching the bows, like if that is the story, I thought it was a pretty dang cute story. So for me, yeah, they would have been in the top for sure.
I think they're a really great coordinating duo. The looks are adorable. Michelle just doesn't like a baby doll dress. That's literally all it is. That's all it is. Like I was frustrated that she ended up in the bottom. I think the looks are cute. They are simple, but I think the presentation of it elevated it to a point where I don't necessarily know that Max should have been in the bottom either. But
yeah.
Scores.
I gave it a 90. And that's would have been higher if it wasn't for I'm still judging by story, okay? I'm taking into acknowledgement the crap that you're throwing at them. However, I think they were solid enough even without a Tony winning best play to back it up.
81.
82. Freya Armani and Athena Armani are next.
Mm-hmm. I thought Athena was adorable. I loved her in this, and I really loved their interaction. I think they arguably had the best chemistry of any of the pairs. I just really enjoyed watching them interact, and you could see a genuine relationship. Um, and I really like the colors. I know it is a lot of black going on, but just having the touch of pink with the wigs was enough for me because I love black and pink together. And I like that one of them is more modest, fully covered, and the other is showing some skin. Like that's a good balance. Once again, they don't need to be identical for it to work. This was in my top three.
I think they did such a good job this week. I love Freya keeping in mind who she has as a makeover partner, and I love that she's the younger, the daughter in the more youthful outfit, and her mom is in a very very similar outfit but covered up, and there's a taste level um thing to it. I'm really glad that Dinah did get to work with Freya with this because I think Freya has the perfect taste level to where they just worked so beautifully together. Like I said in the recap, I'm obsessed with Freya in this look. I think she's adorable. I think they both just look incredible, and Athena absolutely served it on the runway.
This was Freya's best week for me in the competition so far, for sure. I loved everything about this. There's so much thought put into the styling of this. They both have the matching skirt in the way that it flares out. They both have their legs covered, but they're sheer black tights, so it doesn't fully give complete columns of black with a little bit of skin at the top with Freya. No, it gives a little bit of skin throughout while still carrying that color story. Athena looks age appropriate and like a badass, which is very hard to do. I was so impressed by everything that came from this combo. Like, honestly, no real notes.
Scores.
I gave them a 79.
87.
Whoa, 95. Y'all are haters. I'm
No,
sorry.
79 is a good score for me.
My high score is going to be a 90, so keep that in mind.
That's higher than my high score.
Oh, I'm going to be a simp today then. That's for
Good.
sure.
And speaking of the person, I'm just going to go ahead and say I'm giving her a 90 already. It's Nikita and Susu Iman. These are gorgeous, gorgeous looks. The presentation of this was so beautiful. The story they were telling together was just so magical. And I love every week with Nikita, we get a little different piece of her culture and her heritage that she is also in the process of reclaiming. And her entire story this episode was so gorgeous. I am absolutely obsessed with this.
I love everything that Nikita did. I loved every single thing. The idea of truly embracing this is where the story actually helps inspire a makeover into elevating it to a next level performance. I will forever think of this as one of the best makeover performances of all time. Nikita got a plus-sized person to wear a flimsy little top of just like tied together whatever they are, like the circle shapes, with like in the way that the hair comes down, the shoulders, the long flowy skirt, it all works. They look like complete family. I'm baffled. I was teary-eyed watching this, and I was like, why am I teary-eyed watching this? But no, I get it. Once Reese said that they shed a tear too, I was like, thank you. I feel this. Yeah.
Yeah, this definitely was a powerful moment. When they came out on the stage, immediately I just got this powerful vibe from, I know that's another queen, from Susu. Like just the way she carried herself, the way she looked. And Nikita did such a good job of elevating that. And the looks are not even close to identical, but they're still very complimentary, very much in the same family. And very clean and presented so well. So yeah, this was definitely my favorite pair of looks, and I really love the story too. It was special.
Scores 90.
So this is gonna sound crazy, It's gonna sound crazy. I gave this 100.
That
I
doesn't sound
genuinely
crazy.
think for a makeover challenge to pull this level of specificity, beauty, the way that I saw that makeover partner and was like, look at this shy, demure person. I'm scared for them. And Nikita figured out a way for them to be the most confident, strong woman in the planet. Fight me on this 100. Fight me.
No, I won't.
87 for me.
And
Y'all need to watch the video for this.
That is the reaction I was hoping to get. Thank you, Sugar. Last up is Lazy Susan and Dumbwaiter.
I hope your speakers weren't turned up too high.
I'm so sorry.
Sorry,
y'all.
headphones
It's
listeners.
I've never seen Lazy Susan look more beautiful in this frame.
I agree.
Truly.
This is what Susan would have wanted. When I landed on this clip during the episode, I said, nope, this is what Susan would have wanted, so therefore this is what I'm doing.
This was my favorite story outside of Nikita's for sure. In terms of truly being like, all right, we are going to do a 5-minute set at the Laugh Factory tonight. Let's just go for it. I thought it was wild. Did I think that the makeovers were like aesthetically strong? No, there weren't button-ups and little skirts, and that's kind of about it. But I do like that it's yellow hair that is really well styled, matching the blue with like the dark red. I always love putting yellow, blue, and dark red together as opposed to go in full primary color, sort of like modify it a little bit. I'm fine with this.
Drag, I guess.
Honestly, yeah. I like it, but it's not my favorite looks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. Just based on the look alone, it was probably my least favorite. Just because I feel like I've seen things like this, but done better in the past. And I didn't really like what was done with the beard. I think it could have been a little bit better. It just kind of blends in with the face. But that's just a product of having a yellow wig and needing a yellow beard. But overall, I thought that they had a lot of charisma on the stage, and that counted for a lot, I think, in this challenge.
Yeah, the more that I remember Amel talking about wanting the skirts to be stoned, the more that I'm like, yeah, I really think I need the skirts to be stoned. I just wanted an elevation from this. And it really does feel, they talked about it in the episode, it really does feel like Susan was a bit lazy with this makeover, unfortunately. I do love incorporating the beard. Now, we will apparently never know whether, it was a necessity or Susan just wanted to go with it. I genuinely think it could go either way. But I wanted this to be draggier is really all, like, my big critique with it. I think having Dumbwaiter have the cast on, I think is a really good touch. I wish there were more of those touches that like that increased the level of absurdity with the look.
I would have loved like some matching school jackets with like LS and DW on the back embroidered.
Right.
Another element to style the look further.
Yeah, I agree. Scores.
Oh, it's me, yeah. 74.
71.
A sensible 74. Period.
And that's one where the looks probably would have been in the 60s for me, and the story definitely threw it up there.
Here.
Totally. Well, that is that on that for this occasion. So thank you for joining us for this episode of Look Over Here. Make sure to go check out the recap if you have not already with the fabulous Amel. And in the meantime, subscribe, like, and share on the way out. Make sure to check out the description below where you can find all of our audio podcast links, our other YouTube channels, our Patreon, our social media, Amel's social media, and where you can get your merch, including but not limited to cup mug. And with all that being said, we're going to go ahead and get out of here, y'all. So cheers.